Now we are looking at greatest common factor. The greatest number that divides into two numbers is the greatest common factor of the two numbers. Here are two ways to find the GCF of 12 and 40. So on the left, you're going to list the factors. So step 1, list the factors of each number. So they went through and listed the factors for 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And 40, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, and 40. Then you're going to circle the factors that are common to both numbers. So in this case, they circled 2 and 4. Step 3, choose the greatest factor that is common to both numbers. Both 2 and 4 are common factors, but 4 is greater. So the greatest common factor is 4. For the second method, using prime factorization, for step 1, you write the prime factorization of each number. So for 12, that's 2 times 2 times 3. And for 40, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So for step 2, circle the prime factors the numbers have in common. So in this case, you can see that they circled 2 sets of 2s. The third 2 in 40 does not get circled because it doesn't have a matching 2 in the 12. Then you multiply the common factors, so 2 times 2 gets us 4. You can use either method. I'm going to demonstrate listing the factors through the video, but you are also welcome to use the prime factorization method. You will get the same answer either way. So we're going to find the greatest common factor for each set of numbers. So the first thing we have to do is list the factors for each number. I like to use a T-chart for this, so you can match up the pairs of factors as you're going, which helps you make sure you don't skip any. And the way this helps you prevent skipping any of the numbers is as you go through, the pairs of numbers get progressively closer. So for 70, we started with 1 and 70, then 2 and 35 are closer, 5 and 14 are even closer, 7 and 10 are even closer. Then, if we look at 8 and 9, which are the only two numbers between 7 and 10, we know neither one of them goes into 70, so we have found every single factor for 70. So now what we're going to do is to circle the common factors between the two lists. So if we look, they share 4 different factors. The greatest factor is 10, so 10 is our greatest common factor. Next, for number 2, we're going to do the same thing for 4 and 20. So we're going to list both numbers and list their factors underneath them. Next, we're going to go through and circle all the factors that show up on both lists. Then we have 3 different factors there that are similar between the two lists, and we know the greatest of those is 4. Next, we're going to do the same thing for 18 and 24. So we're going to create the little charts and list the factors for both numbers. Then we're going to circle the numbers that are in common between both lists. Next, we look at the circled numbers, and 6 is the greatest, so 6 is our greatest common factor. Next, we're going to continue the process with 18 and 63. So we're going to create lists of the factors for both numbers. Now we're going to go through and circle the common factors between both lists. As we look at the circled factors, we can see that 9 is the greatest, so 9 is our greatest common factor. For 5, we have 36 and 42. So the first thing we're going to do is list the factors for each number. Now we're going to go through and circle the numbers that are common between both lists. As we look at the circled factors, we can see the greatest one is 6. Next, for 14 and 28, we're going to write out the list of factors for each number. Next, we're going to circle all the numbers that are in common between both lists. As we look at those circled numbers, we can see 14 is our greatest common factor. Number 7, number sense. Name 2 numbers that have a greatest common factor of 8. The easiest way to do that is to make 8 one of your numbers because 8 is a factor of itself, and then we can pick any other number that 8 divides evenly into. So we're going to use 8 and 16. Question 8, geometry. Al's garden is 18 feet long and 30 feet wide. He wants to put fence posts the same distance apart on both the length and the width of the fence. What is the greatest distance apart he can put the fence posts? Well, here, what he's looking for is the greatest common factor. So we're going to create a list of the factors for both numbers. Now we're going to go through and circle all the factors that show up on both lists. Then, as we can see, 6 is the greatest common factor between the 2 numbers, so Al can put his fence posts 6 feet apart. And it's really important, since we're working with a specific unit of measure, to make sure you put that unit on the end of your answer. So make sure it says 6 feet and not just 6. Please make sure you have all the work copied down and glue this page in your math notebook.